Hi, I'm Richard Friedman, and welcome to my video cartoon for April 5th, 2025. Good to see you back, folks. Here is the current cartoon I have here to present to you. Here we have J.D. Vance, Vice President J.D. Vance, speaking with a reporter, and this is Thursday night, right after the stock market tanked after President Trump made his announcement about tariffs. The stock market plunged. And this is that Thursday evening. And here is President Trump, and he returned to Mar-a-Lago. He's there in Mar-a-Lago. Here he is. There. We see Mar-a-Lago. There's President Trump. And he's watching J.D. Vance. Okay? And that's the whole thing. J.D. Vance is basically speaking about supporting President Trump in his tariffs, and he's going through saying that it could have been worse and things like that, and this is just the beginning of a great new era for America, and it's going to be better than ever, and the stock market is going to boom, the country's going to boom, and that kind of thing, which goes along with President Trump, what he said about the tariffs, and still continues to say today, after a second day that was even worse than Thursday. So I know a lot of people are glad that it's Saturday. Today is Saturday. There's not another weekday to take another hit. A lot of people are happy about that. I'm sure of that. So this is the backdrop. This is the cartoon here. Now, before I get into that, I want to read you here, and you can just show you this here. And I want to read you the introduction to there's J.D. Vance here. And this is a reporter that's interviewing him. I actually drew that from the reporter that was interviewing him. Okay, and it goes like this. Richard's Trump at Mar-a-Lago watching reporter with J.D. Vance on Thursday night after the market lost nearly $2 trillion. After Trump's tariff announcement, and then you have here Vance saying. Here we go. Let's zoom in on Vance. Okay, there's Vance, and he's saying, in some ways, it could be worse. In some ways, it could be worse. He said that. Those are the very words. Coupled with how it could have been worse. From a scene in the 1961 movie Splendor in the Grass, where comedian Phyllis Diller, and those of you who are my age remember Phyllis Diller, she was a lady comedian. She used to go on The Tonight Show all the time with Johnny Carson in those days, a long time ago. Phyllis Diller, she used to make jokes about her husband Fang and all that business. I remember it like it was yesterday. My mother loved her. Okay, that was Phil Diller played the MC running speakeasy. The speakeasies were like in the 1920s when you had prohibition, when nobody could drink alcohol, liquor, or anything like that. So they had speakeasy clubs that opened up. That were like 3 flights down below a building in a basement somewhere in the back room, and they'd open it up, and it'd be a speakeasy, and they serve drinks and entertainment and all that business, like it was a regular nightclub, but it was illegal, so they had to go like underground and kind of submerge themselves away from the mainstream population. So it was some out of the way place that the cops. There were a lot of cops that found out about it, and they were raided and all that. There was a movie, The Night They Raided Minsky's. I remember, it just popped into my head, and that was about that. Okay. But this is from Splendor in the Grass, when his father takes him to one of these speakeasies to get his mind off a girl who was played by Natalie Wood in the movie, and he's pointing out a girl who he thinks resembles her, and he's making a little bit of a spectacle of himself there, and they're in this bar and grill, and the MC there is Phyllis Diller, and she's making jokes. And this is the backdrop of the Depression. in the late 1920s, I think it was 1929, the Great Depression. So this is when that is happening. So she makes a morbid joke. I don't mean this to be a joke, but to Vance to say it could be worse, that's the only way it could be worse. And so I'm just adding that on to how it could be worse. And I'll let you be the judge of that. I don't want to make any comments about it, but I'm showing you that, how it could have been worse. Because he said it could have been, so I'm showing you how it could have been. And you take it from there, okay? So, okay, club in the late 19th, during the Prohibition era, with the backdrop of New York at the start of the Great Depression. Okay, now, here he is being interviewed by, I think it was a right-wing reporter who was interviewing him here, and he was speaking to him. And here is, again, J.D. Vance with his blue suit, red tie, and an American flag in his lapel there. There he is. Okay. And J.D. Vance says like this: "We're feeling good." I'm talking about him and President Trump and the rest of the administration there. "We're feeling good. Look, I frankly thought in some ways it could be worse in the markets because this is a big transition. One bad day in the stock market compared to one bad day today was worse." So that's 2 bad days, okay? One bad day in the stock market, that was Thursday night. One bad day in the stock market compared to the booming stock market President Trump said earlier today that we can expect to have when all of this is worked out and all the companies come back to America, and that to avoid the tariffs, and we're going to have tremendous investment in this country, and it's going to be like a renaissance of investment. You know, I think he talked about I think he said we already have $7 million or so dollars of investment coming in. People who have said they're going to go back to this country. So so the thing about it, okay, here it is. So that's what I want, because we're reinvesting in the United States of America. Okay, so stock market, President Trump said earlier today that we're going to have, because we're reinvesting in the United States of America. Now, he sees this as an investment because of the fact is that he's taking in all this money for that's going we know where that was going. We know where the money's going to go, right? I don't have to go into that. But he sees this as a capital investment. I'm talking about capital investment into corporations, into industry, and build. That's going to take years and years and years to come about. You see, and then you have to train people. That's another thing. You just can't build up the factories and this and that. You have to train all these new people how to do this and how to do that. And all those people over there for years that they train, you have to do that here and train these people as well. It's going to take years and years and years. So anyway, so here we go back to this here. So now President Trump watching this. See? Okay. Now, President Trump did say that the other country, this is what he said here. I'm going to give it to you right off the bat. Okay, there's Mar-a-Lago. And President Trump said, JD gets it. He will be the best vice president. The market and this country is going to boom. It's going to boom. And the rest of the world wants to see if they can make a deal. Even the remote Australian islands where only penguins live will want to make a deal. So he did say that everybody's going to come back to want to make a deal with America, and everybody's going to want to come to us to make a deal. So in other words, as soon as he says that injects an element of uncertainty, because if President Trump is going to be willing to make deals and all these people are going to take all their capital out of foreign countries, of China or example of China or wherever they are in a foreign country, and they're going to take all their stuff out of there and bring it back here, And then President Trump's going to turn around, make a deal, and say, okay, no more tariffs. You do this, you do that for me, or this or that, whatever. Make the deal. Then why do they do this for? It creates an element of uncertainty. So in a way, it's self-defeating to say we make a deal because everybody gets scared and they don't know what's going on. What do I mean a deal? So that means I invest here in America, and then boom, somebody does something that President Trump likes and makes him happy, and there goes the tariffs are gone. What I move here for? And then these people are at a disadvantage because the people who stuck it out in China now can make cheaper stuff and undersell them. And they're stuck with having to spend more on labor, and they are basically on a collision course with losing their business because they followed the flag of President Trump and reinvested here in America, and President Trump again decided that I said it already. So you know the story on that. Now, what I want to show you here is, again, going back to this. Here is, again, what Vance said. It could have been worse. Okay? He said it. Those were his exact words. In some ways, it could have been worse. Okay? There he is, saying that. Now, I want to show you a scene from Splendor in the Grass with Phyllis Diller at the nightclub. All right. Let me see if I could bring that up. I hope so. All right, here we go. Here. Okay. Here we go. Here we go, folks. I hope. Here we go. Okay, here.
I'm sandwiched between that.
All right. Well, we always got to go. We always got to go through something. There's always. All right, here. Yeah. See, there is the father with his son Bud, that's played by Warren Beatty.
Hello, suckers! I think I smell fresh money tonight.
See, they're suckers because they invested in the stock market. That's joking.
Keep her from coming out tonight.
Uh-huh.
Tonight, as I was walking down Park Avenue to get a taxi, I had to dodge the bodies jumping out of the windows.
Okay, so that's how it could have been worse, with the bodies jumping out of the windows. And she said the stock market, she was referring to the stock market crash, and that was what I wanted to show, how it could have been worse. And again, I'm just going to go back to this cartoon here and give you a last look at my cartoon. And there was Vance here, Vice President J.D. Vance, and President Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago that Thursday night after his first announcement. Again, the thing is that he just put a blanket on tariffs. I want to make the point that he even put tariffs on this island off of Australia, way out there, that didn't have any people on, only had penguins on it. So I kind of said to that Trump said even the remote Australian islands where only penguins live will want to make a deal. You know, it's because he said everybody's going to want to make a deal, right? All these people I put tariffs on are going to want to make a deal. So he was including that island. So you got to assume he's going to make a deal with the penguins. The penguins are going to come and want to make a deal too. So that was a little joke I threw in there, folks. Well, I hope you enjoyed my cartoon. God bless you. God bless America. And hang in there, folks. And those of you in the stock market who have those K accounts and everything like that for your retirement, hang in there, because I think in the long term that that this country always does the right thing. We just have to learn the hard way. Many times we have to learn the hard way, and I think this is one of them. All right, folks. Take care. God bless you. God bless America. And may God watch out for all our troops stationed all over the world, many in harm's way. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.